Okay, this is the story of Earth, and it's a horror story. Okay, so this is one of Rumpelstiltskin's stories for boys and girls. When you have to tell a story around the campfire, a ghost story. Okay, and this story is going to be called the Loosh Farm. Okay, so first of all, we need to know what is Loosh. Loosh is the horrible stories you see circulating on the internet about adrenochrome. Adrenochrome is blood of children that is highly charged with adrenaline because the children are in heightened states of torture. And then their blood is drank by vampire kind of entities. So that is the quick and dirty on what Loosh is. It's the adrenochrome. And okay, let's extend this. Let's say there's more than just vampires at work. Let's call them negative aliens. Aliens that live off of torturing other beings to get stuff like adrenochrome. Stuff that can only be made by sick creatures. Who are the sick creatures? The creatures on planet Earth. Okay, so if you imagine planet Earth, the whole thing to be a farm for demonic entities to make the stuff that they want to eat, then we're well on our way. And if the demonic entities have got this set up like a farm, they're not going to tell the farmed beings what is really going on. They're going to bullshit and lie to them. So here on planet Earth, we have got what I call Rockefeller science. Now, Rockefeller is one of the families of the demonic Illuminati, and J.D. Rockefeller was the oil man who founded Standard Oil, and Standard Oil is still all over my town. There's more Standard Oil in my town gas stations than anything else. But Rockefeller science is a lot of science that's based upon the petroleum products. So a lot of the drugs that we get are based upon chemistry and using petroleum products as the base products for a lot of these chemicals that we take that are supposed to be medicinal. And it is sometimes it's a bit of a band-aid for some of the problems that we have in the human body. But it's way down the chain of causation, shall we say. What really causes problems in the human body is we are being blocked from our direct connection to source. Source is it's a field, okay? Source is a field, the field of infinite potentiality. And when we are blocked from accessing source, things don't work out right. So in our bodies, when we're blocked from source, our bodies can't get the proper energy they need to operate, and they can't access the divine blueprints. The divine blueprints that make a perfect human body. So, why is that? It's by design. Planet Earth is a Loosh farm, and we are the farm animals. And the Loosh demons don't want us to be in our true spiritual nature, because then they can't feed on us. The Loosh demons want us to be a fallen race. Fallen from our divine heritage. And it's true, this whole planet is fallen, a fallen planet. Where are we going next? Okay, let's talk about... We'll come back to maybe another lecture about how we became a fallen planet. But let's talk about, in a perfect place, what things would look like. What things would look like is that you would have Source with all of the divine, perfect information that we would connect to. So we would have things like a spiritual body that nested dolls, Russian dolls. You have different bodies intermingling with one another. A spiritual body, a mental body, an emotional body, an etheric body, an astral body, and what we think of as being the physical body, because this is what we see with our physical vision. If you were gifted with second sight, like the noted healer, Barbara Ann Brennan has got her third eye open. This is the pineal gland, and the vast majority of humans have got it blocked. So we don't see with our third eye. We don't have the second sight. But Barbara Ann Brennan has this third eye open, and when she looks at a human, she doesn't see, just this physical skin. She sees other layers of the body, the mental body, etheric body, all these other bodies. She sees them in the aura. So is the aura true? Yes, the aura is real. We don't see it with our physical eyes, but psychics, certain psychics, and Barbara Ann Brennan especially, can see these other bodies in our aura. And Barbara Ann Brennan has wrote a book called Hands of Light, where she diagrams what she sees. So if you can't see, you can get Barbara Ann Brennan's book, and you can see what she sees. And she's got elaborate diagrams of what she sees with her psychic sight. And she sees blocks in these bodies that cause disease. And when she sees these things, she can do, you might call it psychic surgery. In other words, if she sees dark spots in your aura, she can go and pull crap out of your aura using her hand and her own body, because her body is able to see these things, and she's able to use her abilities to yank crap out of auras. I mean, I'm trying to say it in a different way, and the words aren't coming. This is a ad-lib lecture. So, what other evidence can I give you besides Barbara Ann Brennan's book? Let's go to the British scientist Rupert Sheldrake. Dr. Sheldrake has been working on morphic fields for a very long time. And morphic fields are, in his idea, they are the fields around you that give you your form. Morphology, it means form in scientific lingo. So what is really going on is we have got intentional crap thrown into our different types of bodies in our auras. And these things are blocking us from accessing, as I said, the proper energy that we're supposed to be operating on, which is chi. Chi energy. In essence, if you had a perfectly working body and you had access to chi, you wouldn't need to eat food. You would be able to eat pure chi, which is also known as prana and ki, and there's some other names. But this is basically the energy. It's the energy that we were designed to operate on. And so anyway, why does this, what's going on then? So we have got intentional blocks in our auras. And some of these, well, pretty much, it's a mixed bag. It's a mixed bag of different kinds of blocks. But we don't see, for example, our astral body. A lot of people are going to what's some people call it the dream body, but if you've heard of astral projection, it's people who can roll their consciousness out of their physical body and go on a journey using an astral body. And if you're in your astral body, you see with astral eyes. And you see things differently, or see different things than you see with your physical eyes. You see the astral world, which normally we don't see. And when Robert Monroe, who was a pioneer of training people into astral travel at the Monroe Institute, when Monroe went and did a lot of his explorations of the astral world, he found that there are entities in the astral that are awful, nasty, horrible things. In other words, predators and things like etheric spiders. You can't see them, but because they're invisible to us, we don't know that they're there, we would freak out. Why did people freak out when LSD was first invented? Not bad trips. Because LSD opens your third eye. And you see stuff that the doctors at the time called hallucinations. Were they hallucinations? No, they were real, horrible, vastly scary things that you would see with your third eye open. I mean, in a lot of ways, it's a good thing that we walk around with our third eye closed, because it's a horror story what you would see if your third eye was open. You would be terrified, horrified beyond belief at the things in the astral world, in the etheric world that you see if this eye is open. So in our world, it's a blessing not to see this because it keeps us sane. But people did take LSD and they had bad trips. They saw things that would make your skin crawl. And there's plenty of reports about people seeing these kind of things. Etheric spiders enormous spiders the size of my hand that are on top of somebody right here, feeding on them. You wonder how people get heart disease? It's because they got huge etheric spiders or astral spiders that are here or on the back here that are feasting on you. But you can't see them. And then what happens is with your physical eyes, your doctor with his physical eyes sees all these physical problems. But these physical problems are way after. The main problem that you've got is you've got an astral spider that's eating you. In the literature, I'll give you another one. I mean, we're going to have to go really wide here to go to a lot of different sources to get the picture together. So we're going to go to Carlos Castaneda. He was Times Man of the Year in the early 1970s. He was on the cover of Time magazine. He was an author, and he was an apprentice to a shaman. And the shaman, Don Juan Matus, gave Carlos Castaneda a talk and said, you live in a predatory universe. And there are things that are predating on you, Carlos, as a human. And he talked about these things he called inorganic beings. If you go back to it's kind of the metaphysical spiritual teachings of what are known as the Gnostics. Gnostics, the Gnostics. They talked a little bit about this stuff. The Gnostics. They said that there are nasty entities that they called the archons. You can't see the archons with your physical eyes, but it's all in the Gnostic literature. It's hundreds of years old, if not older. And you can go look up all what they talked about with the archons, but these are another form of entity you can't see, but they are directly predating on humans. Some of these things that predate on humans, these are known as transdimensional aliens. They come from what I always say is known as the lower astral, a place where really nasty things reside. Negative aliens. Sometimes I talk about them on my YouTube channel or my Instagram TV, and I call them negative aliens, like the Draco reptilians. The negative alien agenda is to keep humans and planet Earth as a farm, because these negative aliens are like the demons in the recent Stephen King movie, Dr. Sleep. We're talking about adrenochrome. Adrenochrome is the stories that circulate on the internet they take people and children, and they terrify children, and the adrenaline that the children produce sweetens their blood, and then these demonic entities drink the blood. And Dr. Sleep, the movie I'm talking about, they show this kind of thing. And in the case of this movie, they show that it's not the blood that they're drinking, it's, they call it steam, and it's some other kind of negative prana, a negative chi. That's what they feed on, and that's what they are doing here on planet Earth. They're doing everything to keep us in fear, because fear in us creates negative chi that they just love. Other things that negative aliens do is they have access to our unseen bodies, etheric, astral, mental, emotional, and they do things like put in implants that block us from getting our kundalini. Our kundalini is normally sleeping at the base of our spine, and spiritual people, if you're on a spiritual path, it will move the kundalini up your chakra system, all the way up here and beyond. But people who are not spiritual and people who are being feasted on by negative aliens have got these implants in them that block the kundalini from getting up to this chakra up here. And it's not in your physical body, it's in one of your other bodies. Etheric, astral, exactly which one, there's multiple types of implants. But they block your kundalini from getting up here, and it screws up your heart chakra. It screws up your chakra here, it blocks it. And sometimes what happens is your energy systems, your acupuncture energy systems get really out of whack. And some people, like for example, former Vice President nut job Dick Cheney, remember he had so many heart problems? He was constantly having heart bypasses because his heart chakra is super screwed up, because he is bypassing his heart chakra. The energy in his body is bypassing his heart, so his heart is dying because it's not getting the right energy. And the energy is bypassing his heart and going to his brain. And his brain is very reptilian because he is all about, we are going to dominate you using our military shock and awe, which is basically we're going to blow you into smithereens and we're going to we're just going to shock you when every person you know around you has been blown up by bombs and missiles. So that's what reptilian humans are all about. Their heart chakra is blocked, their hearts are dead, and so the energy in their body is all servicing their mind and not the love of their heart. So these people have no love. They are, in essence, demonic entities, demonic humans. Dick Cheney, if you're watching, what could you do? You could go and see a shaman. You could take plant medicines like ayahuasca, which would show your mind the truth. When you take ayahuasca, it tends to open up your third eye, and then you start seeing things. The things that would terrify you when you realize, oh my God, there are things eating me. If we go back to Carlos Castaneda, the author and the apprentice to the shaman Don Juan Matus, Don Juan Matus described the human body quite like Barbara Brennan in her book Hands of Light. Don Juan Matus said he had his third eye open. He was a highly evolved spiritual being. And he said a beautiful human without all kinds of this contamination is a luminous egg of beautiful things. And he said the luminous stuff is basically your ability to perceive, your awareness. And he said the predators eat your awareness. They eat your perception. A human without awareness, a human without perception, is senseless. You're meat. So, that is your story for boys and girls about what a Loosh farm is. It's a planet full of humans and all the other animals, like this moose here, living in a place where there are hidden entities controlling us to make us live in fear so they can live off of the negative chi, the Loosh. And it is all the control structures that we have here that they've implemented through their human pawns. Things like everything to do with controlling you, the capitalist system, the bank system, the military draft, the mass media. They lie to us, the mass media, on purpose to keep us in fear. That is why you turn on the 6 o'clock news. It's nothing but horror stories, murders, massive disasters, massive car accidents, tidal waves, scare tactics, and then the outraged politicians that are incompetent and can never fix it. It's designed to elicit in you fear and anger. Fear and anger primarily are the foods these negative aliens, these negative entities feed on. And that's why Earth is as it is. The Great Awakening is you listening to my story for girls and boys, my horror story, and going and taking ayahuasca, opening your third eye, and seeing what you see, and feeling what you feel, and going, oh my God. But if you push all that stuff away, what are you left with? Physical science, which I call Rockefeller science, because it was all funded by Rockefeller and people like him. And Rockefeller science says basically the stuff that your family doctor says to you about why things are as they are. They say aging of the human body is natural process. You are given 80 or 20, whatever it is, 70 to how many more years past 70 you're going to get? Years of physical body, and then it drops dead because aging is built into the system. All of the disease processes are biochemical in nature and or infectious. They're only giving you a small smattering of truth, because all of this stuff wouldn't happen if you were directly connected to source and you weren't blocked from pure chi energy and pure blueprints of what your body should be. But you are blocked because you have got intelligent entities who have designed it this way. Prison planet Earth, Loosh farm Earth. Now you know. Maybe you'd be happier not knowing. Go see Dr. Sleep. I am Jacob Marley, the ghost.